Billy Connolly is a renowned Scottish comedian who's known for foul-mouthed delivery as well as a few jabs at sensitive subjects. He's also famous for playing the most badass character in the Boondock Saints films. But there's a small Australian film he did in 2001 that not many people remember. The Man Who Sued God is a comedy that seems to advertise Billy Connolly much like Mrs. Doubtfire advertised Robin Williams and Easy Money advertised Rodney Dangerfield. But it also has some interesting things to say towards the issues of religion and the language used in corporate contracts to cheat people out of money. Billy Connolly plays a man named Steve Myers, but really it's basically Billy Connolly if he wasn't a famous comedian. Myers is an ex-lawyer who lives on a boat. He's also a divorcee with a young daughter who loves him dearly despite any ill feelings that the mother has for Myers. Oh, and fun fact, that little girl is played by the young Emily Browning. One day Myers' boat is struck by lightning, and when Myers tries to claim his insurance, he is surprisingly denied. Apparently the insurance claim did cover for an act of God, a clause that they use to find yet more ways to screw people out of cash. Myers is deeply insulted by this callous business strategy, but he has an idea. Since it was an act of God, then surely God must pay. Myers decides to return to his lawyering skills by suing God, who is ultimately represented by various heads of churches and synagogues in court. This ridiculous case naturally gets a lot of attention, positive and negative. People come forward with their own horror stories about how insurance companies used this clause against them, and others violently accuse Myers of blasphemy. He also gets the attention of a journalist named Anna Redmond, played by Judy Davis. And unless you don't usually watch movies, you're probably guessing by now that there is a bit of a romantic subplot between those two. The movie plays off of Billy Connolly's charm and his comedic style. While movies starring famous comedians sometimes fall victim to sacrificing story for stand-up gimmicks, this movie thankfully focuses on a plot and sticks to said plot, working the comedy in without too much force. While the use of this act of God clause is a bit questionable, it is easily forgiven in terms of the film's comedy and its message at the end. We get obvious moments of comedy when a clever rabbi has a battle of wits with Myers in court, and we have a surprisingly poignant scene where one of the bishops confronts Myers on the nature of God and his mysterious ways. The conclusion that Myers comes to at the end of the film is perhaps the best way to end this film, using an argument about God's existence to combat insurance companies. Like I said before, you watch this movie not because it's cinematic genius, but because you want to enjoy a certain comedian in the lead role. We know it's going to be his style of comedy fused into the story, and in this case, it works. Billy Connolly has a great presence on screen, serious or comedic, and The Man Who Sued God is certainly a great film to watch for any Connolly fans out there.